Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and welcome to another Surviving Day on the Planet. We are on February 28th, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Do. Having a look here quickly at the last 48 hours on our sun. As we did, if you noticed that little flash on the left-hand side, equatorial region, we did just have a C-class flare, and as well the CME as documented yesterday. Other than that, no other major events. Quick look here at the last 48 hours incoming. Some large plasma filaments erecting there. And as well, watch for the flash. C-class solar flare from the fiery region on the left-hand side there. Looking at outgoing imagery here. Again, no major space weather events thwarted our way. And the backside of our sun seems to be pretty quiet right now, after ripping a couple holes in our sun. And they are now turning into an Earth-facing position. Looking at all of the activity here on the last 48 hours. This is where the CME was. Solar flare, C-class. Looking at multi-spectrum. All the effects from our space weather. Real-time solar wind has calmed down, but then jumped up again. Looking at 171 angstroms. Still watching two coronal hole regions developing. One of them turning into an Earth-facing position right now. Looking at the ISWA space prediction spiral, as you can see, large solar flare ejected right at the Bepi satellite. And as well Stereo A, LASCO 2 showing the event. This is the last 2 days of imagery with the LASCO 2. Southwest region of our sun here. C-class solar flare, not in an Earth-facing direction. Solar X-ray flux is slightly elevated in B-class range. Solar proton low, and geomagnetic activity slightly elevated. Having a look here, real-time solar wind sitting at about 490 kilometers per second after dropping down flatlined there at about 246 kilometers per second. So we had not absolutely nothing, but a very low solar wind there for a couple hours today, and showing the magnetosphere here. Geospace cut planes. This is the magnetosphere map, showing that lull right there of almost 200 kilometers per second. Schumann resonance for today, is an amplitude power of 12 and quality of 7.8. Prayers for humanity during these crisis and crazy times. Let's have a look at earthquakes here for the last 24 hours. As the largest was a 5.7 in Schumann, Russia, which was downgraded to a 5.3 yesterday. But they've seen many earthquakes since 5.3 ranging to 4.9, and just recently another 5.1 earthquake, Schumann, Russia. As well, Izu, Japan Islands, 479 kilometer depth. We've seen a few deep ones today, so heads up, we are expecting a larger, shallower earthquake to follow. Overlooking Indonesia here, Rutang, 4.4 ranging to 4.8. As well, notable here, Indonesia, 51 kilometer depth, 4.7, just southeast of Krakatoa volcano. As well, Levuka, Fiji, 604 kilometer depth, 4.6, and as well a 4.2, 608 kilometer depth. So two very deep earthquakes. Fiji, as well, observing a 4.4, 447 kilometer depth, and 442 New Zealand. So deep earthquakes bouncing between Fiji and New Zealand right now. Minor activity here through Pahala, Hawaii. As the activity comes back, you watch our lava lake come back to life as well, observing the last 24 hours of the lava lake. As you can see, some more spilling out on top, and as well opening another little valve on the eastern ridge of the Kilauea caldera volcano in Hawaii. Carrying on here up into Alaska, 4.5, largest through the region, Unalaska. Minor activity continues through there. United States, no major swarms to talk about here. Largest through the region, 3.3, Delta BC Max, Mexico, and as well 2.7 here. Notable, Joseph, Utah, Toya, Texas, 2.5. Again, no major swarms to talk about across the United States. Puerto Rico, largest being a 3.9 earthquake. As well, Mid-Atlantic Ridge reporting a 5.5, so that is the largest the last 24 hours. Calama, Chile, 4.5, and as well a 4.3 in Arauco, Chile. 5.2 earthquake here, South Sandwich Islands region, 35 kilometer depth, just southeast of the Michael volcano. And that is the last 24 hours. Most concerning are those deep earthquakes in Fiji and as well New Zealand, expecting a larger, shallower earthquake to follow. And in my opinion, we're well overdue through Central America up into the United States. After these deep earthquakes, we can always expect a larger, shallower earthquake to follow. Sometimes right away, and sometimes it does take a bit. But 9 times out of 10, it does happen. Having a quick look around the world, this is the last 7 days for earthquakes. All of the red icons being the oldest, and the elevated rings showing the depth. Let's have a look at Pacific Disaster Center showing the most recent satellite imagery, and as well volcanoes erupting, extreme cold conditions through Canada, Semeru in Indonesia, Sabancaya in Peru, Tilica in Nicaragua, Fuego, Guatemala, Nevados to Chilean, Colombia, Sangay in Ecuador, Swiss and Najima, Japan. Look at all these flood alerts across Australia and the United States, Popo in Mexico. Lots of storms, many active hazards right now. Dakono in Indonesia, Nevados de Ruiz, Colombia, Reventador in Ecuador. So that's about 14 volcanoes getting updated today, and we still have an active and erupting 50 across the planet. Observing here satellite imagery across the world, still some pretty big, vigorous systems, both the North Atlantic and North Pacific. As well as some pretty intense low-pressure centers heading through New Caledonia and southeastern parts of Australia, and now northwestern parts of Australia. One tropical cyclone to talk about, Tropical Cyclone Vernon, is a Category 1 storm. Watching through the southeastern Australia for extreme weather conditions. As well, a low-pressure center heading through the Mediterranean. And let's have a look at the forecast weather here for the next few days, brought to you by Ventu Sky and as well Daily Events Worldwide. Starting out here, home base, Brantford, Ontario, where we will have some flurries moving in tonight. And then Wednesday into Thursday, you've got quite a big system heading into the west coast, and as well an Alberta Clipper heading into Ontario, and then moving northeastward up into Nova Scotia. So the second Clipper is going to bring about 5 centimeters of snow. The first one, just a dusting, mostly northern Ontario. But watch for extreme weather to head through Newfoundland with that system. Overlooking Europe, low pressure center east Mediterranean, and as well one heading into Spain this week. Winter storm conditions across central Russia, and as well widespread snow showers through Ukraine up into northeastern Europe. Long-range forecast here is showing a pretty intense low that's going to be coming in off of Spain. Going to bring some very windy conditions and as well some cool conditions to parts of North Africa. Higher elevations could see some snow. Carrying on around the world here, pointing out the major weather events that are going to be affecting our planet the next few days. Daily evaporation rains through Indonesia and Malaysia. No major storms developing except for strong low moving through Japan. And as well, intense low pressure system heading just east of New Caledonia. And then looking through Australia here, southeastern parts south of Sydney, and as well northwest here, you've got two lows encroaching on the continent of Australia. Long atmospheric line of moisture stretching along the equator. Low pressure system is going to bring some rain and some moisturous conditions through parts of Hawaii this week. But this equatorial line of moisture still seems to be pretty low. Atmospheric line of moisture heading into Washington coastline over the next few days as well. Daily evaporation rains could be very intense here this week through South America, as well as a dwindling line of moisture heading through the Brazilian border. Other than that, no major weather changes. I'm going to leave you here looking at the southern hemisphere versus the northern, pointing out our major systems spinning across our planet right now. Thanks for watching today. This has been Mike with Daily Events Worldwide. Prayers for humanity. Thanks for watching. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your daily due. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.